Alright guys, video, well, retake 2, because I've been playing around with my audio settings and I think I fixed it. Let me know in the chat. Guys, we're going to talk about The View. Because The View have come out and have tried to give everybody a heart attack by going on about how honest they are. No shit. They have said this, and
has long dominate someone with allegations of child trafficking across state lines.
So there's this. So I had to find it. So let's go back and let's watch this. By the way, guys, just warning, you might have a heart attack laughing. It's pretty funny.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. But so when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one.
Yeah. But I think that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
we're checked by everybody.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it gets me.
If we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
Mm-hmm. The human legal
note? We went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons.
So just FYI, they had to issue a legal note yesterday because they said some stuff about Matt Gaetz. Not only that, but they also had to issue another legal note today because of the fact they got something else wrong.
Denied all allegations and has not been charged.
Legal note.
I have a legal note. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
Yep.
Gaetz previously dismissed allegations that he
This is the first legal note, right?
Paid for sex, saying that, quote, someone is trying to recategorize my generosity to ex-girlfriends as something more untoward. Another legal note, Pete Hegseth's lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. He has denied any wrongdoing.
They've had to read out 2 legal notes in 2 days. This is the same people who are trying to tell you that they're people like their show because they're honest, right? Yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, so what have they said? Let's listen to what they have to say. If I scroll down for some reason, my mouse...
People want us to...
That Donald Trump did roam the earth one day. So yes, I did. And he also... Rogan, who believes...
Human legal...
But we went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that...
Did you check that? Yes. Did you triple check that? Yes, I did. She has triple checked it, everybody. Now, through the power of the internet, and thank you, big shout out to Melanie King. By the way, go check her content. She's really, really good. They have gone through and, this is actually what Joe Rogan actually says. So, if I actually find it, here it is, here.
You know what I'm really fascinated with is things that existed like only in myth, but that every culture has, like dragons. Like I had this guy, Forrest Gallant. He's a wildlife biologist, and he thinks that there's a real possibility that dragons were an actual thing, and that.
Well, when they have lived, like when dinosaurs were around.
No, they lived alongside humans. That's why there's all these records and all these different cultures, and there's Chinese.
By the way, I'm distracted. He says on this shirt, "I met the Clintons." I wonder if it says down the bottom, "and I still survived," or "and I survived."
Culture has dragons. Japanese culture has dragons. Ancient Europeans have dragons. Like dragon is not a fire breathing. That seems to be bullshit. But maybe even
what kind of what would their purpose be?
Well, they're probably like a crocodile that flies.
So here they're talking about the possibility of dragons throughout history that possibly might have existed, right? And we can, and to back up what he is saying here. Can you please list every culture and belief that has references to dragons in their mythology. And while it's doing that, let's keep going.
Probably like more than one kind of really dangerous reptile that they call dragons, like Komodo dragons.
Right, Komodo dragons.
Giant
yes,
lizard,
right.
they call it a dragon, right? Crocodiles, dragons. The question is whether or not one of them actually flew. Because we know that pterodactyls were a real thing. And if pterodactyls...
I mean, they probably were real then.
Nah. I think it's probably something like that. You know, some kind of like enormous bird-type creature.
I only want a dragon if it's going to like just have fire come out of its mouth.
All the time. Yeah.
That's the only kind of dragon
Stick
I
it on
want.
your enemies.
Yeah.
So, like, during that, you actually hear he hasn't actually said he believes in dragons 100%. He's just talking about the possibility that they existed because of the fact that there's so many cultures. For example, it's still going, by the way, that talk about the possibility that dragons actually existed. Dragons are a nearly universal mythology archetype, appears in the folklore, mythology, and religious traditions of many cultures across the globe. ChatGPT saying this, guys. Asia has Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, Vietnamese, Indian, Tibetan. Then you got the Europeans that have Greek, Roman, Norse, Celtic, Slavic. You got the Middle Eastern. You got the Metropolitan. That's what we call Iraq now. Persian, Judeo-Christian. You got Africa. You got Egyptian, the Sub-Saharan Africa. You got Aztec, Mayan, Native American, Oceania. You got the Aboriginal cultures of Australia. Even talk about them. The Polynesians have talked about them. Can you draw what the dragons would have looked like based on the main characteristics from all of these mythologies? Probably spelled it wrong, but you get the idea. And but like I say, if all these cultures have gone through and have dragons listed as a part of history, it is interesting to see like where did everybody comes from. Like, for example, another situation like this is the Younger Dryas. So like this is what they're sort of like it's saying here. I've also gone through and had it already talk about dragons before because of research for my video game. And if I bring that up, it actually had a better description here. So that's the typical dragon that you have. Dragon in early mythology here. So you have something like this, for example, right? Which is less fiery, breathy, fly round, burn everything to a crisp, but more like a sea sort of dragon or something like that. And then you've got like seahorses that recur to like sea dragons and stuff like that too, right? So like I say, there's a lot of mythology where like all these cultures have talked about like dragons throughout history. You know, like I say, another thing like for example is the Younger Dryas. Can you also list all of the cultures that talk about a great flood? The concept of the Great Flood is a recurring theme across numerous cultures and mythologies, and then it starts saying ancient Near East, say the Macedonian, or what we would call basically Iraq these days, Hebrew, Zurazan, you got Indian, which is Hoodoo, Chinese, you got the South Asian, various, which is obviously like a lot of Thailand and all those sort of places, Tibet, European, Greek, Celtic, Nordic, Africa has Egyptian, Western. Like the only thing that's more impressive about than dragons is the fact of the mythology of the Great Flood. They both have a lot, and even here in Aboriginal cultures talks about the Great Flood. So, like at the end of the day, this is where like people are like, well, was there actually a Younger Dryas? Was there actually a dragon? You sort of, if you have all these cultures talking about it, it's like, well, it's giving it a little bit of credence because, like, well, you're like, well, hey, did like, you know, it's not like some batshit Aboriginal culture made it up. It's like you got it all over the world. So was there really some sort of dragon at some point? And that's what he's sort of talking about here. He's just talking about the possibility of them being real because of all these mythologies and all these cultures have had dragons references in their past. So he's like, well, you know, he was talking to this forest guy. Did they actually exist? Were they actually real? You know, he's not saying he actually believes in it 100%.
Dragons, like I guess, like dinosaur-y type of animals, roamed the earth when people did. So this is the type of really.
He literally says in the video that no, we're not talking about the ones that when the dinosaurs. He literally says that. Remember, keep in mind, this is the girl that went through and fact-checked this 3 times.
Bad information that's going out there.
Well, in defense, there are some really good news.
It's possible that Donald Trump did roam the earth when dinosaurs were here.
Yeah, or you, maybe. Did you roam the earth back then? You're a dragon, aren't you?
There are some really good news kind of influencer types, and I think it's great that they're getting information about global and current events in front of younger people who maybe don't tune into traditional media. But to Sarah's point, there has to be some fact-checking and actually verification of the things that are shared, because I spend a lot of time on Instagram Reels, and I'm served up things that I get outraged about, and then I realize, oh, that's not even true, but I have the sense to go and look it up. But what I do worry about with this, like the blue sky versus X.
Yeah, by the way, a whole bunch of leftists went to Blue Sky and have clogged up their reporting system because they're basically mass reporting everybody. Also, on a side note, and totally unrelated to a whole bunch of leftists moving over to Blue Sky, child porn on Blue Sky has gone up. Don't think about that too much.
Because a lot of people I follow on X, Twitter, have now left to go to Blue Sky.
Trust me, they'll be back within 3 months. But it does show how much of an echo chamber this girl actually is in. If she's sitting there saying at the end of the day, most of the people I follow have gone to Blue Sky, yeah, they're echo chambers. They're going to their own echo chamber. You're probably in what we call an echo chamber because, like you say, most of the people you follow have gone to Blue. It's all the lefties.
I worry we're all going into our own echo chamber. So we had this.
Really? I don't know. Why don't you ask all your friends that have gone to Blue Sky about Echo? Oh, wait, yeah.
You know, this election that was tense. Donald Trump won, and the right is going to stay on X, and then the left is all going to be on Blue Sky.
Trust me, the left is not going to stay on Blue Sky. They're all going to come back eventually because at the end of the day, they as much as hate Donald Trump and they hate the right, they need him because at the end of the day, their life is just so goddamn boring without us.
How do we try to talk to each other?
Well, this is the thing. People can't these days. They can't sit there and talk to each other. Well, the right can, the left can't. And I'm sure there are people on the right that can't as well. But this is where you get like Tim Pool and these sort of these podcasters that lately that have been like tried to be like cancelled by Destiny because like he's like Tim Pool needs to be shut down because of misinformation. Let me see if I can actually find duplicate.
People want us divided.
If I can close that. So Destiny claims Tim Pool needs to be shut down.
And disgusting for years, which is why I don't give a fuck about anybody that winds up at any of these rallies and gets shot or whatever the fuck, okay, because they had no problem making fun of Paul Pelosi. The entire world would be better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms. Like, there is no downside and only upside to see people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool never be allowed to publicly broadcast their opinions ever again. It's
Someone, can we put like a little, trim that mustache a little bit and just like leave a little bit over the front of the nose that it seems to be, yeah. But at the end of the day, like this is literally fascism. I can't handle the fact that my politician lost the election, so I'm going to advocate for everybody like Tim Pool, who, by the way, so lefty, skatey boy, who advocate for people like Tim Pool to be shut down off the internet. This is why, you can't have these conversations, because at the end of the day, people like Destiny, and your side in particular, wants to shut down the debate. And the reason you want to shut it down is because you can't win it. You know your stances on these things are insane. You know that men running in women's sports is bad. But you can't say that because you're going to get cancelled. And you have to sit there and you have to toe the line. And guess what? You know you can't say it because you were the ones cancelling someone 3 months ago for doing something just as similar, or 4 months ago, or 6 months ago, or whatever it was that the lefty was trying to cancel someone. You all know what it was like because you were the ones doing it. And you're like, shit, if I say anything, I'm going to be next.
Unfortunately, I will have to say, the other side, I think, has driven people away because it's not.
It's not the lefties' fault for trying to cancel people. It's the right. They've driven them away.
Not just discourse. Mm-hmm. It's nasty name calling and coming after your family. And I'm.
Do we need to start playing all the videos and all the articles about Matt Gaetz right now?
I'm going to do this to you. And I don't think anyone should have to take that from anybody if they don't have to. Yeah. Well, so I'm not, and I think a lot of Republicans who also are getting that because they have opinions that may differ from what is being said.
But it's not the left's fault. It's the other side that started it.
They're moving as well because, and I know why also, because, as I believe, Elon Musk is the actual vice president.
Anyway, but at the end of the day, obviously, people are going through and having a lot of fun, posting memes with Joe Rogan on top of a dragon, with Dragon Believer. Joe Rogan himself has gone through and has updated his X profile. Let me bring that up. Joe Rogan. So here you can see he's changed his profile to just say Dragon Believer. And of course I've had to have my 2 cents because free-loving journalists didn't. And I said I can't wait for the View to put out a third legal note in 3 days when they realise they've just slandered Joe Rogan claiming he believes in dragons. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I say, I would expect a third legal note because this is just crazy. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Let me know if the audio is a lot better now. I've boosted it. I've gone through and done a few things. But yeah, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section. Obviously, the video's been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, we'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.